Hello, welcome to the Absolute Beginner's Guide to American Mahjong. Tonight we're looking at Part 7, Strategies to Help Your Game. If you enjoy the video, please press the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to leave questions or comments. I love connecting with you. This video is probably for somebody who has played the game several times and is looking for strategies to help. These are the first 13 tiles that I have been dealt. Remember, don't find a hand on the card. Look for a category. So the very first thing you're going to do is organize your tiles so that you know what you're looking at, because you're looking for a category. What I do is I put the flowers on one end with the jokers, and then I do the odd numbers, the even numbers, winds and dragons on the end. Now I have a much clearer picture of different categories to look for. You see all those winds? That's a possibility. I also see a lot of BAMs. Because I have all of these BAMs, I'm going to reorganize and do it by suit now so that I can see what I actually have. Now I have an incredibly clear picture. I have a flower, a joker. I've got the beginnings of consecutive run, a couple of extra tiles, and a lot of winds. So now what I'm contemplating is, what am I going to trade in the Charleston? Remember, the Easts and the Wests go together. And when you pass tiles in the Charleston, you do not want to give anybody any gifts. So East and West go together usually with an even number. So I would avoid that. I'm thinking I'm going to hold on to all of the wins and the BAMs that I have. I'm trying to figure out what to pass in the first Charleston. I don't need the 3 dot or the 7 dot. I'm holding on to the 6 crack because there is a consecutive run hand that calls for other suits, and I also have a 6 BAM. So the question is, what would the third tile be? I'm going to go with the 5 BAM. I know you think that's nuts, right? But since I'm collecting the BAMs, it could be that somebody would just discard it and I could pick it up later. Okay, let's have a look at my opponent's hand. This is what she was dealt, and the first thing we're going to do is organize it. Again, we'll put the flowers and any jokers down on that end. Then we do the odd numbers, the even numbers, any dragons, and winds on the end. Again, we're looking for a category or two, not a specific hand. Then I take a look and see what I have, and I see immediately I've got a bunch of BAMs in this hand as well. So I'm going to put those BAMs together. There I'm still organizing them by even numbers. We're going to put the BAMs together. It looks like I have the beginning of a consecutive hand, but I also have the pair of 4s, the 6, and the 8. So that could go quite well in the 2, 4, 6, 8 category. Now I'm contemplating what I will pass in the Charleston. I already know I don't need a 1 crack. I don't need a West. And if I'm going to consider the 2, 4, 6, 8, I probably would do cracks. So I'm going to pull that 6 dot. Here's another little tip. I hold on to dragons. Sometimes if somebody needs dragons, they'll put up dragons with jokers and then I can make the exchange. Another strategy is to push your tiles together. Don't give your opponents any information. Like all of your good ones are on one side and all your crappy ones are on the other side. Push them all together. Another strategy is poker face, and I have the worst time with this. If you have a good set of tiles, just stay quiet. If you have lousy tiles, stay quiet. Don't give your opponents information. Okay, we've done a couple of the trading in the Charlestons, and I'm really liking that consecutive run. And what I tend to do is I count my tiles. I have 8 tiles towards a potential hand. So that's what I'm going to go with, that category in consecutive run. Maybe not know my hand right away, but I know that I'm looking at consecutive run. At the start of the game, I put all my lousy tiles on one end so that I can make a quick discard without thinking. And again, push the tiles together. Don't let your opponents know how many good ones you have versus how many bad ones you have. Now, when I made this video, East had not discarded. So pretend that East has given out something. I'm picking a tile. I'm going to rack it immediately. And there's really no choice on what to discard because there's very little tiles out there. So I just discard that one. As the discard pile grows, you need to pay attention to what's being thrown out. You can see here that people are generally throwing out low numbers and soaps. So discarding a low number would be a safe discard or a soap. As the discard pile starts getting larger, pay attention to what people are tossing away. What I do is, as they throw out something, if I have it in my hand, I slide it to the end of my rack. To make the easy discard, I don't have to think about it. So there's already been a 1 crack out. It's safe. It's going on the end. You can see from that discard pile that most people are throwing out low numbers. So here I go. I'm racking it and I throw out my easy discard. It's also safe to throw out flowers at the beginning. It is very likely that you're going to pick a great tile from the wall. And when you do, it's poker face time. Don't get excited, don't hoop and holler. Just put it down on your rack right away and do your easy discard. Now I wait for the person across from me to take their turn before I carefully put my tile where I want to use it on my hand. Again, I'm not giving any information to my opponents. I'm going to pick up this discard. I'm going to say hold, and I'm going to expose a pung of 5 bams. There's a strategy here. We're going to have to discard a tile. And I have the choice of 2 tiles, either a 4 bam or a 9 dot. Now, I could toss the 4 bam and let my opponents think that maybe I'm doing an odd number run and that I'm not actually doing a consecutive, even though I am. Or I could throw the 9 dot out and don't even let them think anything. That's a strategy. You have to figure out what's going to be a good strategy for you for your discard. Again, you don't want to give your opponents information. The other thing to consider is if you throw out the 4 bam and your opponents think that you're doing a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, if you throw out the 4 bam, somebody would be less likely to discard a 7 bam. And if you need a 3rd or 4th one, it will be harder for you to get those. So I'd recommend throwing out the 9 dot. It's the End of the game, somebody has won. Do you put all your tiles up and show your opponents what you were working on? I'm going to say no. That's called the autopsy. And you don't want to do that, and let me tell you why. I was working on a consecutive hand that is made up. It's not on the real card. I made it up for this video. The likelihood of me collecting BAMs again is really high. And the likelihood of me doing a consecutive hand in a next game is also very high because it's something to do with neurology. When you seek something and you seek it repeatedly, it can come to you. So it's really possible the next game that we play, I'll be collecting BAMs again. Do I want people to know that? No, I don't. So I don't think it's a good idea to go over what everybody was working on. I know as a beginner, you're going to probably spend the first 4 or 5 months figuring out the game. So strategies are not something you're thinking about right away. My last tip for strategy is to practice. And once you get your own tiles, what you can do is just pull 13 random tiles out of the box, put them in order, and work on what category you're looking at. I hope implementing some of these strategies will help your game, but I really understand the fact that it's a very difficult game. There's a lot to keep up with. So maybe you could just try one strategy at a time and see how that goes for you. I hope you enjoyed the video and you'll follow my channel. Please feel free to leave a comment or a suggestion. The hands that I was playing in this video were completely made up. They are not on any card. I just made them up as I went along. Thank you for watching.